Hello, welcome to Do It Yourself with Wayne. Today we're going to work on our light post, and we've got Izzy walking around out here. She might be helping us a little bit. But something hit this and broke it. We're going to be replacing this particular part here. We're going to take the light fixture apart and we're going to repaint the pole. We're going to replace this rod, paint the little knobs on the ends, and just clean it up and make it look a lot nicer. So that's our project for today. Okay, now we're going to start taking this thing apart. These knobs, if you happen to get a post like this, these knobs will come off the end and stick on there pretty good, but they will come off. So there's that. We got a piece of metal pipe that we'll be replacing that with. There's a screw on the inside that just lets the top come undone. Put this back in its place so you won't forget where it goes, but that'll be painted. And I got some screws here. And that should take this part off. So there we are. There's a few more screws in here. We're going to take the glasses out. Going to clean it all real good, put it back together. And in this part, there's a nut there, there's screws here. Already loosened them up a little bit. That comes off. Ground wire. And there it is. So basically we're going to take the light bulbs out, take the glass out of there, we're going to repaint everything. New rod there, paint the knobs, and that's what we're going to do. At this point, it's been 2 weeks since we started on this project. This paint that we used, at the very least it needs overnight to dry. A couple days is really better. It's a Rust-Oleum paint that's made for rusty metal, which works really well for an application like this. Also, we needed to order a new photocell for our light so we could leave the light on all the time, and it just comes on at night. And we had to order one of those, took a little while to get it. But anyway, we're going to install this first. If you'll notice, the top sticks out a little bit further than the bottom. That just helps protect it from weather. And fortunately, it'll fit in the same hole where our old one came out. So the first thing I'm going to do is mount this thing. Just 2 screws. Fortunately, it fits in the same hole that the old one came out of. And that takes care of that. Now hooking it up, luckily for us, the old connector for the old sensor and the new connector are exactly the same. So we just plug it in. That takes care of that. And now we've got to hook up the red wire here to our light fixture and a wire from the black to our light fixture. So that'll be next. Now at this point I've hooked up my light fixture. Basically the fixture hooks up just like the old one came apart. I don't want to lead anybody to believe that I'm giving you electrical advice because I'm not a licensed electrician. I would just say, hook up your old one like it came apart. But if you're not comfortable with electricity and doing electrical stuff, get a licensed electrician to do that part. Just for safety's sake. But anyway, it does hook back up the same way you took the old one out. So now I got my wires hooked up. I'm going to tuck them down in the pole a little bit. We'll get everything tucked down in here. We'll install our light fixture back on the pole. And I'll have to make sure it's turned just the right way, but that's where it'll be tightened down. At this point, we've got our fixture mounted back in. We've got our photocell back in. Now we're going to start putting the top of the fixture back together. And one thing I'd tell you about, if you take something like this apart, a lot of times you get screws that look alike, but they're a little bit different. When you take your screws out, pay attention to how long they are and what goes where. Because in this particular case, we've got screws that, you know, there might be an 1/8 of an inch difference in the length. But if you put the short one where a longer one needs to go, they just don't work as good. So anyway, we're putting this back together now. Always get your screws started before you tighten them down. And I'll probably have to get a shorter screwdriver to put those screws in. But we'll put those screws in, and we'll put our cap on the top, and I'll show you how that goes. Wish I could take this off and do this, it'd be a lot easier. And there it is. Now, at this point, I just got 4 screws up here that'll be hard to get to, so we'll do that off camera. I have to get a shorter screwdriver to put those in, put our light bulbs in, and then we'll be back to test it and see if it works. Now, at this point, I was having a lot of trouble getting the screws that were up in there tight, so I just took it back off from these 4 screws here. And in retrospect, I'd like to, or have to say, that's probably how it should have been done to start with. And that is how you would normally replace the lights. In our case, one of our glasses got broke over the years, so we can just reach in through there and change the bulbs when we need to. But normally you'd take these 4 screws out, take the whole top off, and that way you could get to the bulbs. So I had taken it back off to get those screws tight. Now we're going to set it back on here. Put those 4 screws in there from the bottom up, because those are pretty easy to get to. And we're almost done here. We still got to test it, and we still got to put our little crossbar in. With the little gold knobs on the ends that we've also repainted those. Let's get this finished up. All right, one more screw. We'll be done here with this part. Okay. All right. Now the bar that goes through the center, we replaced the bar. If you remember from the beginning of the video, it had gotten broken. We got a new piece of pipe, we painted it black. We painted a little gold knobs, and that goes right through there, like so. And the gold knob on that end. About like that. And there we go. We're finished up. The only thing we got left to do is test it. Now here we are. We got our lamp post finished up. We took everything apart. We took our broken rod out. We replaced the rod, painted everything, put it all back together, cleaned it up, replaced the light sensor or the photo sensor because that wasn't working. So right now the light is turned on. If I put my hand over the sensor, that indicator makes it think that it's dark, and our light comes on. So at this point, we'll just leave the light switch on all the time. The light will always be on at night, always off during the daytime. So that's another good fix. And just like to say, you know, appreciate you visiting. Do it yourself with Wayne. And if you like this video, please click like and subscribe to our channel. Make it easier for you to find our other DIY videos. And again, thank you for visiting and have a great day.